Alright, what's up, everybody? Back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys having a good one. Today, we're going to be talking about yesterday's game 2 between the Heat and Celtics. A very crazy game, very entertaining. And yeah, we're going to talk all about it for both teams. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts. Personally, I really appreciate it. If you like the content, consider subscribing, like, turn on notifications, all stuff like that. I really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. And yeah, I don't want to waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So last night, game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Heat and the Celtics. Heat win game 1. This is a huge game for Boston because Boston loses this game. They go back to Miami down 2-0. Early in this game, the Heat got off to a good start. They were really aggressive. Bam Adebayo was really aggressive to start this game, which I really like. You know, I think an aggressive Bam is a huge X factor for the Miami Heat. Bam Adebayo came out aggressive. Max Strus came out hitting some shots. The Celtics were missing some easy ones. And yeah, he got off to a really good start. But then Derek White came in off the bench and really made a big difference, hitting some threes. Jason Tatum started to find some confidence. The Heat role players, guys like Kyle Lowry, Gabe Vincent, would come off the bench and weren't hitting shots. The Celtics had a 25-24 lead at the end of the first quarter. Go to the second quarter, the Celtics have a great start to the quarter. Derek White, Michael Brogdon both come off the bench, start hitting shots, hitting three-pointers. And when the Celtics 3 is falling, you know that's their game plan. And they play really well. They're also playing really good defense because, again, the Heat role players, the bench wasn't really playing well in the first half. But a big X factor and a big shifter in this game was Caleb Martin. Caleb Martin came off the bench and had a big role in this game. He came in and scored 8 straight points for the Heat to make it a 2-point game. And then Jimmy Butler comes back in and starts hitting a couple of shots. Decker Robinson hit some threes. Caleb Martin again hitting shots. Jason Tatum isn't really shooting the ball either. And Jaylen Brown was having to struggle to shoot the ball. And he come back and take a 4-point lead at the end of the second quarter. But then we go to the third quarter, and the Celtics have a great third. Now they start hitting threes again, forcing turnovers. The Heat, outside of really like Jimmy Butler, weren't really making shots. And Bam, no one was really making shots for the Heat in that third quarter. The Celtics outscored the Heat 33-21 and hold an 8-point lead at the end of 3. They had an 11-point lead at one point in the third quarter after Marcus Smart hit a big three-pointer, and it felt like the Celtics were going to win this game. You know, the Heat weren't really hitting shots. And when the Celtics are, it's big. Jason Tatum had a big third quarter as well. You know, hitting step-back threes, making plays for others. He was really good through the first 3 quarters of the game. We go to the fourth quarter, and Caleb Martin, again, bringing big energy, getting layups, hitting offensive rebounds and stuff. Derek Robinson hit a couple big three-pointers early in the quarter as well for Miami. And the Celtics just aren't really finding Tatum and Brown. You know, Jaylen Brown was really struggling to shoot all game. Jason Tatum wasn't really taking shots in that fourth. And then the big turnaround. Grant Williams hit a three-pointer with 6.5 minutes left to make it a 9-point lead. It says something to Jimmy Butler on the way back down. And from then on, we all know what happens. Jimmy Butler comes down and decides to turn up. Jimmy Butler was doing solid. He was trying a little bit aggressive, but he wasn't really like playoff Jimmy. The playoff Jimmy activated after Grant Williams says something. He comes down and makes it a 4-point game. And then Duck Robinson plays well. Bam Adebayo hitting free throws. Heat are getting aggressive. The Celtics, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown aren't really doing much. They're not really getting the ball. They're turning the ball over. The Heat just really lock in on both ends. Jimmy Butler hits back-to-back big pull-up jumpers to make it a 2-point lead. Coming down to it, the Heat were getting the offensive rebounds, making the plays, put back dunks, and Gabe Vincent hit a big step-back jumper, even though he wasn't really doing much all game, on Tatum with 35 seconds left to make it a 4-point lead. Tatum also missed a three-pointer late in this game. The Heat got the rebound, and the Heat end up winning 111-105 and take a 2-0 series lead over Boston, man. What an insane game, insane story. Celtics actually shot better than the Heat field goal percentage-wise. The Heat shot 46%, the Celtics shot 47%, but the Heat made 5 more shots and attempted 13 more shots. The Celtics made more threes. They were 10 for 35, but the Heat shot a better percentage. They were 9 for 26. Celtics shot 5 more free throws and made 3 more free throws. But the Heat forced 15 Boston turnovers. They had 1 more assist and the rebounds. The Heat out-rebounded Boston 45 to 35. Had 11 offensive boards. Also had 9 steals in this game. It's a big factor for the Heat. And they just really came out and executed late in the fourth quarter. That's what I said was a big X factor when I was talking about previewing this series. I was like, if the Heat can just stay in the game, to the first three quarters. I feel like their fourth quarter execution, because we see Boston in the fourth quarter throughout the season, throughout the playoffs, have some struggles to close out games. So if he can stay around long enough to be able to get in a clutch time situation with the Celtics, if they can execute like the way they have been throughout this playoffs, they can win. And that's how the Heat have done it the last two games. Game 1 and Game 2 both came down to last few minutes, and the Heat really executed well. The Celtics didn't. Jimmy Butler, 27, 8, and 6, 3 steals, 2 blocks, shot 12 for 25. Only attempted 3 free throws in this game, which is very rare for Jimmy. But yeah, he really turned it on when he needed to. After Grant Williams kind of poked the bear and Jimmy Butler came out, put the team on his back and hit some big clutch shots. That's what playoff Jimmy is for. But this is the Caleb Martin game. Caleb Martin came off the bench and put up 25 points, hit 3 threes, shot 11 for 16. He was a big factor in this game. Especially, he was early in the first half when guys like Kyle Lowry and Gabe Vincent and them weren't really hitting shots. He was the only one kind of doing stuff. Getting offensive rebounds, hitting 3-pointers when they're leaving him open, attacking, getting out in transition and running. He was a big factor. If he doesn't play the way he does, I think that he don't win this game. So gotta get a big credit to Caleb Martin. And honestly, I feel like he should be a starter for Miami. Kevin Love for the first 2 games of the series hasn't really played much. So I feel like Caleb Martin, but then again, they're probably going to keep this lineup because they're up 2-0, don't change a lot of things. But honestly, I feel like Caleb Martin should be a starter on this team just because, he gives them the perfect thing they need from their forward. A forward that can be versatile, switch out, play on the perimeter, do all that stuff. But also, he's been hitting threes. He's been hitting threes at a great clip so far in the playoffs, even though he's not really a shooter. And the team's leaving him open, and he has the confidence he's going to take them. Today he took 7, he hit 3. And he just makes all those little winning plays as well, like getting those offensive rebounds and hustling for loose balls, getting put back dunks and stuff. He's been big. And then Bam, 22, 17, and 9. I love what Bam's been doing ever since I feel like halfway through the the New York series. He really started to become more aggressive, look for his own shot, and he was early in this game. And then Celtics were because Celtics haven't really been guarding Bam like that. Like, they're putting Robert Williams on him, and no one else is really helping. Robert Williams is letting him take those little mid-range pull-up jumpers, and he's been knocking him down. He's been playing really, really well in this series, and Max Strus had 11. Duncan Robinson was big in this game, too. He had 15 points, hit 3 threes, hit a few threes early in the fourth quarter. That really helped the comeback. But yeah, not really a great game from some of the other guys. Like, Gabe Vincent hit the big shot, but he wasn't doing much. Kevin Love played 15 minutes and missed all the shots. He had 5 rebounds and 3 fouls. Kyle Lowry did make a shot in this game in 17 minutes. But it didn't matter because Caleb Martin really helped them, and Jimmy and Bam helped close this game out. And just a huge win for Miami. Now they have home court advantage. Now they're up 2-0, going back home. That's just like the ultimate. What else? You couldn't ask for anything more. Literally couldn't ask for anything more for Miami. Now they're going back home with all the confidence in the world against Boston. And Boston, they really have to clean some stuff up. Looking at the stat sheet, Tatum had a great 3 quarters, 34, 13, and 8, shot 10 for 20, got to the free throw line, 5 turnovers. He did not score in the fourth quarter. He was 0 for 3. He has not scored in the fourth quarter yet in this series, which is unacceptable. This Heat team, they're very good defensively, but Jason Tatum he just put up 51 points in a Game 7. We know what Jason Tatum can be, but he just hasn't scored. He didn't even attempt a shot in Game 1 in the fourth quarter. Now, we could put this on Tatum, not going out and getting the ball. We also put this on coaching, potentially not, attacking, not giving the ball to their star player and letting him do what he's got to do. But Tatum, both of them got to be a lot better. And then Jaylen Brown probably, I think personally, probably had his worst game of the playoffs in this game. 16 points. He shot 7 for 23, 1 for 7 from 3. He also did not score in the fourth quarter. And yeah, he just was really from the get-go. He was taking his shots. You see, he took 23 shots. He just wasn't really hitting them like he usually is. And those are the usual shots he makes. So not really too worried about Jaylen Brown, but he's got to be a lot better in that fourth quarter as well. But the role players, we're stepping up early, but late they kind of faltered. Robert Williams had a good game, 13 points, shot 5 for 5, had 2 blocks. Baka Brogdon came off the bench at 13. Derek White provided energy in the first half. He had 3 3-pointers. Grant Williams had 9 off the bench. He was solid. I'm not surprised that he showed up in this series, especially they're giving minutes to Payton Pritchard for some reason in Game 1. I don't know why he was even thought about to be put on the court. But Al Horford continuing his struggles in the playoffs. He had 2 points last night, was 1 for 5, 0 for 4, 3 from 3, and had 4 fouls. Marcus Smart had just 7 points. It was 2 for 5. He had 3 turnovers and only 3 assists. But the Celtics really have to clean some stuff up. They have to execute in the fourth quarter. They have not done that so far throughout the first 2 games. Their star players haven't showed up when they need them to. And I was also on Joe Mazzulla. He's got to put the ball in Jaden Tatum's hands. I mean, I don't know how you don't do that. Coming down with this, especially with this Heat team that has been consistently showing up in the fourth quarter, consistently making great plays, and seeing what Jason Tatum has been doing the first 3 quarters of the game, he was amazing. Not just scoring for himself, but also playmaking for others. So I don't know how they take the ball out of his hands, but he's got to put the ball in his hands, and also Jaylen Brown. Got to put the ball in those 2 guys' hands. But now the Celtics are really, their backs are against the wall. They're down 2-0, going on the road. And these next 2 games are must-win games. We already saw that Miami could come into Boston and win a game. Not just 1, but 2 games. So they're not, that fear of being at home, going back to Boston doesn't matter to them if they do lose one of these next 2 games. But Boston has to win. That's why I think Boston has to win both of these games. Like, Boston has to win Game 3 and Game 4 in Miami. Because Miami has no fear of Boston going into Boston winning anymore. They have all the advantage. They have everything on their side. Everything is on Miami's side right now. In Boston, their backs are against the wall. They're going on the road. They have to pull out 2 wins. They have to lock in, man. They have to lock in. Defensively, they have to be a lot better. They were really good for a few quarters. Then after that, they kind of, I don't know. They have to be a lot better. I think Robert Williams has been great in this series. And they got to stay big, honestly. I don't know why they don't really. Robert Williams only played 23 minutes, which I kind of understand maybe like the mobility-wise and offensive-wise. They want to give all shooters out there, Malcolm Brogdon or Derek White. But Robert Williams has been super good throughout the first 2 games. And I think he should get a lot more playing time. Al Horford has been very tough because, defensively, he's really good. And because it's Al Horford, he makes a lot of good plays. But he just has not been hitting shots. He's not been hitting shots. So we got to do something. The Celtics just really need to lock in. Especially in that fourth quarter clutch time. You could tell that they can, the first 3 quarters they can be good. It's just that fourth quarter late game execution has been a struggle for them. And one factor to that could be just giving Jason Tatum the ball and letting him play basketball. But Jason Tatum also himself has to be a lot better in those fourth quarter situations. He got shots late in this game, but just didn't make them. So he's got to really, execute down the stretch, and Jaylen Brown's got to be a whole lot better. Celtics really have to lock in and really have to go out with energy, effort, really lock in and win these next 2 games. But for Miami, you just got to keep playing the way they're playing, honestly, especially that fourth quarter defense, that late game situations. They've had role players step up every game, and they just need to keep doing what they're doing, and playoff Jimmy will take care of the rest. So get them to the fourth quarter. Just get to the fourth. Just have the role players and Bam and stuff get them to the fourth quarter, and then Jimmy will take care of the rest. That's what we've seen these last 2 games. That's what we've seen throughout the entire playoffs. So if Miami could just continue to do the things they've been doing, then they might be going to the NBA Finals, man. This is insane. But yeah, just a big testament to Miami as a team. Eric Spoelstra, the best coach in the league right now. Jimmy Butler's on another level. They've just been really clicking at the right time, and ESPN gave them a 3% chance to win this series. And I think we all knew that was a lie. I predicted the Heat to win this series, even though a lot of people predicted the Celtics to win. I predicted Heat to win this series because I knew that Miami was going to come out with some vengeance. And Miami was going to come out and prove everybody wrong. But I did not expect them to go up 2-0, winning both games in Boston. That was not anything that I could have predicted at all. But yeah, just a big congrats, or not congrats because the job's not finished. Still got 2 more wins to go. But a big applause to the Heat. And the Celtics really have to come out and win both of these next 2 games. If they lose one of these next 2 games, I think it's probably over for them. Yeah, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoy this gift. Do it the content. Consider subscribing, turn notifications, all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow.